guys, it's Haley and welcome to another bookish video. Today, it's not quite a bookish video because we're literally just talking about me. Alexa, play Me by the 1975. I am so floored that I have 25,000 people subscribed to this channel. If I think about it too long, I start to freak out because the idea of being perceived, I don't like it. So today we're doing a 25K Q&A just to celebrate the progress that I've made on this channel and to let y'all know a little bit more about me. I used to share a lot more about myself when I first started making videos, but once you see the dark, dangerous side of the internet, it makes you shut down a little bit. You don't share as much. You need to be more protective because unfortunately, like, I would love it if y'all were all nice people that I felt like I could share with, but some of y'all are bitches. So I haven't shared as much, but I'm guessing that the people that click on this video would want to know more about my life. But please understand that I am going to be a little bit more like candid and myself in this video, so be nice to me in the comments. You literally have to be nice to me. It's the law. So today we're getting into my 25K Q&A. Thank you guys so much again for 25,000 subscribers. It's insane. Like, I cannot think about it. I'm going to be answering the questions that y'all asked me on the community post that I put up on YouTube and also on my Instagram story. I put up a question box and I got a lot of questions there. If you're not following me on Instagram, I am really active. That's probably the social media where I'm the most active. I try to post every day. So go follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. It's always linked down below, and we'll just go ahead and get into the questiones. This first one is so funny. It's, are you a saver or a spender? And I think everyone around me would say that I'm a spender because I do tend to treat myself a lot. I'm a girl who loves a little treat, okay? I'm a girl who loves not a luxury good, not a designer good, but something that feels like a little bit more elevated. You know what I mean? And I do like to support the local businesses in Austin. I never go to chains, or at least I try not to. So that just inherently is a little bit more expensive, but I do think that I budget well. I definitely prioritize saving, especially now that I'm a little bit older and I have my businesses to invest in and make sure that they're healthy and growing. I am definitely more of a saver, but maybe I appear like a spender. I don't know. Oh my god, I love this question. Savannah asked me, do you have any concerts or shows coming up soon? I actually have a ton. In 2 days, I'm going to see Greta Van Fleet. I'm so excited. I know people like to clown on Greta fans, but I just love it. I think it's such a unique style. Like, nobody's making music like them right now. It feels nostalgic. It feels like the songs my dad would play by the pool when I was growing up. And I just love that there's like someone modern making music like that that just feels nostalgic to me. So I'm going to see them. I also just got tickets to the Local Natives show all the way in November, so I have that to anticipate. I love the new Local Natives album. If you haven't listened to it, highly suggest it. And I also have a Two Door Cinema Club show coming up. I might also get tickets to Blink-182 if I can get them on the $25 ticket day. I love Blink-182. I grew up on Blink-182, so I'm going to see them. And of course, I'm going to ACL, the annual music festival in Austin where I live. So I have a lot of shows coming up, probably like one every other month. I love live music, and I love that you know that about my personality. Thank you for asking that, Savannah. I love this next question too. Oh my god. Savannah, you killed it. She also asked me, can you recommend me Lana Del Rey coded books? Just from the ones that I can see like out here in front of me, I have some books laid out for a video that I'm making later today. I think Death Valley and Milk Fed by Melissa Broder definitely are Lana Del Rey coded. I'm trying to think, like Sad Girl. Oh, maybe One Italian Summer. I think anything by Rebecca Searle, really. Sally Rooney. I feel like Sally Rooney is very Lana coded. The Little Paris Bookshop. Oh my god, I really like that book actually. It's kind of giving more like Ocean Boulevard album, maybe like Blue Bannisters. I feel like Night Bitch, One Bloody Thing After Another. other, any man. Like, those are giving, you're just a man, that's just what you do. Blood Sugar, definitely. Such Sharp Teeth. Sad girl books. I want to read Pond this next month, and New Animals. I feel like both of those give very much like Lana energy on the like sad girl kind of spectrum. But I am an ultraviolence Lana stan, really. Like, I came into my Lana obsession on Ultraviolence. That is my favorite album. Have you ever made playlists or mood boards inspired by books that you've read? Not a mood board. I really would love to get into like the Pinterest aesthetic stuff. I will pin them, but I've never made anything like that. Playlists, yes. I definitely get into like this music book connection. That's why I really loved the last question. I do that more for like shows and movies than I do for books, but I did make a Feminine Rage playlist to go along with my Feminine Rage book recommendations. If you missed that video, I can link it up above and down below. And they're all just kind of like good for her, revenge, feminine power books. I made a playlist to go along with that. So I make playlists to go along more with like vibes than specific books, but I do have a Stranger Things / Eddie Munson playlist that I collaborated on with Miss Olivia Reads a Latte, and that is one of my favorite playlists to listen to this day. What is the book that got you into reading? Ooh, this is a good question. When I was a child, the books that got me into reading were the Click series. I don't know if y'all remember like these books. This like summer set of the Click books, that like had me into reading, and I had like a resurgence of being a big reader in high school, and the book that got me into reading again then was We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. That's still one of my favorite books of all time. And then my thriller era, more like towards college, was brought on actually by Natasha Preston, my girl who I love to hate. I read, oh god, The Cellar? I think it was The Cellar by her, and I really liked it. Then I read Luckiest Girl Alive by Jessica Knoll, and I was like, I'm a thriller queen now. What do you use to style and take care of your hair? It always looks shiny and healthy. Well, thank you. I don't know if this is the best day to use my hair as an example because I haven't washed it in 3 days, but I try to not use any products at all. When I curl my hair, I only use hairspray, and when I just have my hair like natural or blown out, I will literally just put Moroccan oil in it. Moroccan oil is pretty much the only like product that I use in my hair other than hairspray, which I just get like the cheapest Garnier hairspray that I can find. I did get into like a curl cream for a while. I think the one that I had was from like Oidad, however you say that, Oidad, I don't know. And my hairstylist friend just like gave it to me, but I ran out of it and I never bought it. So I don't know what that says. I don't use a lot in my hair product wise. I think it's more important to just like not use heat on your hair often. Try to like be intentional about like when it's wet, putting it in a microfiber towel, not brushing your hair like super rough. Like I use a Tangle Teaser and a wet brush on my hair. So that is kind of how I take care of these long locks. I've always had long hair since I was little. My hair was like down to my butt when I was a child. So what is your favorite form of self-care? Y'all are asking the best questions ever. I feel like when people think about self-care, especially like I hear a lot about what people perceive as self-care from my clients, it's like bubble bath, face mask, DDD. That is actually not self-care to me. Sometimes that stresses me out to like try to make time for those things that feel like a big ask, especially during the week when I'm busy. My favorite form of self-care is just like slowing down or taking a pause. Like if I notice myself doing something really frantically or like being really anxious while I'm doing something, I will try to just like give myself time and give myself a pause to slow down. Maybe I'll like write about what I'm feeling. I've been getting more into journaling or doing something slower. Like I really love yoga for my workouts rather than like running, and just shifting my life towards a more slow pace, I think has been the best form of self-care that I could ask for recently. Next question, it says, new follower here. Thank you, Allison, for the follow. How did you and Cameron meet? And your ring is stunning. Well, thank you. If you don't know, I recently got married last December, and I married my Cameron, who I've been with for over 7 years. We met in college at UT Austin. Hook 'em horns. So I feel like that's very basic of us, but yeah, we met in college. How do you motivate yourself to make time for reading while maintaining a fun lifestyle? This is really important to me, and I got a lot of questions like this. I think I got like 4 or 5 questions about like balance, keeping a balance between like fun and work and reading. Honestly, I don't watch screens. Like, people are constantly asking me, have you seen this movie? Have you seen this show? And I don't. For me, I have to be more intentional about carving out time to watch things than to read, because I just immediately in college started replacing screen time with reading time. I don't even look at my TV. My friends make fun of me for having the smallest TV any living room has ever seen, because I just don't watch it ever. Like, I always would rather be reading. So that's kind of how I maintain reading time, is like, if I'm gonna be chill at home, I'm probably reading. I am really intentional about listening to my body, my system, like what I need. If I'm needing interaction, then I will go out in the world, even if there's a part of me that's like, oh, I just want to be at home. Like, if I know what I need, I will go and get it. You shouldn't try to base your balance, work-life, reading balance, off of someone else. I think it should all be informed by your own nervous system, and that's when it'll be the best for you, because we're all different. We all have different balances, and that's how I maintain mine, is just listening to the feedback I get from my own system. Any tips to start living with your partner? Honestly, me and Cameron, I think the first time he spent the night at my dorm room when we were freshmen in college, we were never apart from that night on, so I don't know. I wish I had good advice for you here, but I guess find someone that you could put up with living with, because I don't know, Cameron gave me a lot of space, and like, he's very bare bones living, so it was just kind of a good match. He just let me take up all the space in the apartment and my dorm room and all the things. So everywhere we've moved, I've kind of gotten control over the physical space, which I really appreciate. I think it's just finding someone that you mesh with well. If you could choose any book to be made into a good movie or series, what book would you choose and why? Oh, Chrislyn, I love this question too. Blood Sugar by Sasha Rothschild. It was my favorite book from a couple years ago, and it's like in my top 3 favorites of all time. I think that would make an amazing series. It's a really character-driven thriller, so I would want it to be a series, like really drawn out, really a deep dive and like character study into this very morally gray yet likable woman. I would love that. This next question just says, I need a link for every dress that you own. Thank you. I actually don't own many of the clothes that I wear. Fast fashion is not really a thing for me. Like, I don't like buying things that I know I'm just gonna wear a couple times. I am like commitment phobic in every single way, including my wardrobe. I pretty much only wear things one time, so I don't like to buy unless I'm investing in like a really nice basic piece from a store that is kind of more luxury, because I know it's gonna last and I can wear it over and over and over on a ton of different outfits. Or if it's like vintage and a really unique piece, then I will buy that. But most of the clothes that I wear that you guys want links to or like want to wear as well is rented. Like, I do a lot of clothing rental services because I like to wear a lot of cute clothes and I like to wear different clothes every day, but I don't like to own a ton of clothes. I would much rather do something a little bit more sustainable. Also, I like the idea of like sisterhood of the traveling pants kind of vibe. Like, who wore this dress before me and where did she go? Like, she could have gone to an outdoor concert, and I'm about to go to like a little Harry Styles pop-up today and then go bake cookies with my friend. So like I just like thinking of the traveling that the pieces have done before they got to me, and it's sustainable and it feels community oriented. So I do a lot of like clothing rental services, and this one that I have on, this like cherry free people, $150 or something like that, which I think is crazy. Like I would never pay $150 to own this. I just paid my monthly subscription fee to Nuuly, and this got shipped to my house, and I can wear it and then I'm gonna send it back. So if you want a Nuuly, you want to check out Nuuly, I think I have like a referral code where if you sign up with my referral code you get $20 off your first one, and I get $20. I have like no affiliation with them at all. I think anyone can do that from your account, but if you want to use mine and like get me money off my next Nuuly, that would be really great. I'll put my link down below. Next up, my girl Janice asks, have you always lived in Austin, and would you ever live somewhere else in the future? I grew up in Houston, or a suburb outside of Houston, so no, I haven't always been in Austin. I just went to college at UT Austin and I stuck. I love Austin. I don't think I would really ever want to live outside of Austin. I can't really move out of Texas because my license is in Texas and Cameron's teaching license is in Texas. So we can't really move out of Texas, and we don't want to live anywhere else in Texas other than Austin. I would love to live closer to the beach sometime in my life. Like if I won the lottery tomorrow, I would probably move to Malibu. I would love to spend time on the West Coast. Every time I'm in LA, I feel like I want to move there. It's just very much my energy. I have a lot of friends out there, so I would love to move to LA. I don't know if it's in the cards just because of like logistically our licenses, how things are, but we'll see. I have a long life ahead of me. What made you pursue psychology? A social worker here. Oh my God. Thank you for what you do. Social work is so hard. I have a close friend who's a social worker, and I could not imagine that. Really, any like mental health position. Just love to all of you out there, and love to myself because it's a difficult job. The thing that made me want to pursue psychology was I was always just like very interested in human nature, sociology, like group dynamics, what makes people the way that they are. I remember watching like a lot of crime shows as a child, and I think I've talked about this before, but I was a very anxious child, and it just kind of like soothed my mind to give explanations to things, especially like human nature and family dynamics and things like that. So that's kind of what initially drew me to psychology, and I love feeling like I can give back to the world before I leave it, you know what I mean? I love the fulfilling nature of being a therapist, because I love seeing someone come into their own. Just like being able to witness that to me is such an honor and a privilege, and yeah, I just love it. New to Austin, welcome to ATX. Any cafe or bakery recommendations? Ooh, this is a good question. I like Nate's Baked Goods and Coffee. I love that place. I used to live near there. I will go there all the time. I also like Bennu Coffee. It's like 24 hours. There are a lot of good coffee trucks. Magic Matcha, that's a matcha truck. It's really good. But more like cafes where you can get food. I like Food Heads. They have really good sandwiches. I like Paris Baguette. Me and Cameron literally just went there this morning. It's more of like an Asian bakery, you know, where you like get the tray and you can like put different stuff on your tray. Oh my God, I always go crazy there. Their hash brown bread is so good. We have so many good spots in Austin, honestly. Just explore, follow the food accounts from the foodies in Austin, and just I do that and I pin everywhere they go. A lot of questions about the wedding, how I planned it, little details about the wedding. Honestly, I wish that I didn't plan my own wedding. I wish that I had more help, but that was just completely way out of our budget. So the wedding planning process was not a good time for me. It was very stressful. I wish that if I could go back in time, I wouldn't have a big wedding with a bunch of people there. I would have just gone to a foreign country, just me and Cameron, and like maybe our parents and my brother and my maid of honor, and like we could have just done something international and really special. But yeah, there are a lot of details. I linked all my vendors if you're wondering about specific vendors, like people were asking about wedding cakes and my dress and things like that. It's all linked in the caption of all of my wedding pictures that I posted on Instagram. I think I posted like 12-ish photo dumps of like different details of the day, and all of my vendors are linked in every single one of those Instagram posts. I also got a question about my wedding cake flavors. We had a chai and cinnamon cake, and then we had a Mexican hot chocolate cake. So like spicy, kind of warm flavors. It was in the winter, so Mexican hot chocolate, chai, like it just kind of went together. Ooh, Miss Livy Latte asks if you could get rid of one thing in the bookish space, what would it be? Y'all already know. Y'all have to already know what I would get rid of in the bookish space. I mean, male authors who act like pieces of shit, I would love to get rid of that, but I don't think that's realistic. Realistically, I think, you know, we can work towards getting rid of this part, actually. This is the part of the book community that pisses me the fuck off. It's when y'all act like little Hermione Grangers. I know that we all, as little reader girlies, probably identified with Hermione Granger growing up, but y'all don't need to be her, okay? And when I say you're acting like an annoying ass little Hermione Granger, I mean you're acting like a know-it-all. You're constantly raising your hand. No. Girl, listen, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do that. You don't have to be annoying as shit. You don't have to know everything. We could all stand to be a little dumber, okay? That's one thing that I would change about the bookish space. I want everybody to just be a little bit more humble about their intellect. Be willing to be dumb. Don't just go and mansplain or womansplain anything that's happening in front of you that you think might be incorrect. I think there's a lot of really smart people in the bookish space, but that leads to a lot of condescension, a lot of like holier than thou attitudes, and I don't like it. Okay, we're all just girls reading fucking fake ass stories. Please just be a little bit more dumb. Stop being a Hermione Granger. It's so annoying. Ooh, she also asks if I could add one thing to the bookish space, what would it be? Genuineness. I would add genuineness. I think there's always a veneer. And I get that that's a protective veneer. We really have to protect ourselves on the internet. We can't just like put our full selves out there, because there is someone that will take yourself if you put it out there and eat it for lunch. So I get that, but I think it's possible to find a balance of protection and genuineness. At least that's what I try to do. I wish other people tried to do that instead of being fake as fuck. Kelsey asks, why are you my twin flame? Dark book taste with a bubbly physical appearance. Thank you so much. I feel that we are twin flames, actually. Anyone who reads just like the most terrifying, visceral book you could ever imagine, but then wears a little cherry dress like out in public, you can hang out with me. I love that vibe. Nikki asks if I prefer plot-driven or character-driven books. If you know me, you know I love a character-driven book. I would say probably 90% of my favorite books are character-driven. I can do a plotless book and just like follow the most interesting character ever. I have very, very little patience for a plot-driven book with absolutely zero character development. So I don't know, that's just my taste. Okay, if you went up on my question box and just asked me to follow you, like I'm literally not gonna do that. Samantha asks, what trope or type of book do you think the world needs more of? I would love more books like Rebecca Searle or Melissa Broder, where it's an exploration of a real life concept that is very intentional and has a very clear message through a fictional story, specifically with like magical realism or some kind of like out of this world element. I think exploring reality through like a more whimsical lens where anything is possible is really interesting and leads to like really great conversations. I have a lot of questions about Cam, which I love, one of which is from Cameron himself. He said, what's it like to have the best husband ever? Jury's out. I wouldn't know. Favorite thing about Cam, I would say he is really patient. That idea of like slowing down, when I try to do that for myself, I know that he's always going to be open to that. He will never pressure me to like go faster, get things done more. Like he definitely encourages chill time, which I don't really do for myself. So I appreciate that in my partner. What book would you reread again and again? Definitely Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter, my favorite book of all time. I cry at the first paragraph every single time I reread it, like every single time. Also the prequel, Blonde Hair, Blue Eyes, I cry every time I read that. It's just fucking perfect to me. What was your university experience like? Kind of mixed, to be honest. I did not love my college experience. I think there were just like a lot of different options of where I could hang out, and I did not pick the best. I think I was just gravitating towards people who seemed like they were on my kind of level on the surface, but I didn't really look at like the quality of the person that I was hanging out with. I was just thinking like, oh, we both like to do the same thing, so I'm gonna hang out with these people. I wish I would have looked more at the person rather than just like what they enjoy to do or things like that. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, if you're going into college or thinking about that, definitely think about the quality of the people that you're making connections with, and don't just take the first people that you like to do the same things as and say that that's your friend group. How are you so stylish and how do you put together outfits? Nuuly. Literally sign up for Nuuly. I'm saying it is so nice to have new clothes every single other day, but not have to spend the money and not have to worry about how it's gonna fit, because all the clothes on Nuuly are like so well made and mostly really expensive clothes that like they fit well. I feel like fit is much more important than what an outfit is like comprised of. If something fits well and you look comfortable and confident in it, I feel like that is a big part of it. And as for like styling, I feel like if I'm inspired by a piece, I can style it really well. Like I love interesting prints, like this cherry print. I have a lot of like fruit print stuff just because it's very inspiring. It reminds me of like spring and summer, and I feel like I can build better outfits around a central inspiring piece if it's like getting my creative juices flowing. Also, thank you for saying that I'm stylish. I appreciate that. Please, mother, we need a tattoo tour. Okay, I love when y'all call me mother. I feel like ancient, but also it's very sweet. I need to take y'all through the tattoos because it's been a minute. I've gotten quite a few since the last time I've showed my tattoos to the camera. So let's get a little bit closer. Let's get a little bit more intimate. This one that's like kind of on my back shoulder is a bridge in Austin. Had a lot of significant moments in my life happen at this bridge, so I got it tattooed on my shoulder in my typical fine line style. This was my first tattoo that I ever got. It's for Crying Lightning by the Arctic Monkeys, which is my favorite song of all time. I also have these butterflies on the back of my arm for 3 White Butterflies. It's a lyric in a Lana Del Rey song. And I have these 2 cherries on a skewer, like a cocktail skewer. Originally, I wanted like a subtle, like bisexual pride symbol. I didn't like a lot of the ones that I was seeing. And I knew that I also wanted cherries for Lana Del Rey's Cherry, and so I just thought like putting the 2 like my gender not my gender skewer, I like both, like that's kind of that. I have some lyrics from Love It If We Made It by the 1975. Think about Maddie Healy how you will, but like I appreciate these lyrics and they got me through a hard time, so this has nothing to do with Maddie Healy. This has to do with the meaning that I get from music, which is very important to me. I have my Gemini tattoo right here. It's like the 2 faces of the twins with some of the sparkles here, and the points on the face make the constellation for Gemini. This is the symbol for Dumbledore, which is a big part of the Chucky franchise, which is the thing that got me into horror. And I also love like the duality, like the snakes, also like giving very bisexual, giving very gray area, very nothing is what you think. Like this has a lot of meaning for me. Then I have this ace on my forearm. When I wear like 3/4 length, it looks like an ace up my sleeve for a lyric from Do I Wanna Know by Arctic Monkeys. Again, this song like defined a big part of my life. I also have a fine line of my dog. This is Mochi right here, my little 3-legged tripod guy. Have him on my arm right next to this fine line of Boba cup because my other dog is named Boba and I love boba tea so much. That's why I named my dog after it. I also have my wedding bouquet. This is my actual wedding bouquet that my artist sketched out in a fine line style with the bow that was on my bouquet when I walked walk down the aisle, this is it. Also have these 4 fine line beach symbols. This one is for my grandma. I have a matching paradise tattoo on the side of my hand, exact same placement and font as Lana Del Rey. And then I have 505 for the Arctic Monkeys song 505. 505 and paradise like kind of mean the same thing to me, so I wanted them next to each other. I'm planning on getting more hand tattoos as I get more and more. And then moving over to my other side, I have my Pretty Girls tattoo. This is the locket that is floating underwater on the cover of Pretty Girls, literally my favorite book of all time. This is from the Why Do You Only Call Me When You're High music video, Arctic Monkeys. This is from Perhaps Vampires is a Little Harsh, but this is a swing. I have always been like really attached to swings. I did a lot on swings as a child. I took my senior photos on swings. Like, swings have always just been a big part of my life, and I walked down the aisle to Video Games by Lana Del Rey, which the first line of that song is swinging in the backyard, so there we go. This little symbol here is the cover art for Body Paint by Arctic Monkeys. This is a book just with flowers coming out of it to represent my love of reading. Then I have a little knife with hearts to represent my love of horror. Then I have this tiger here, which is more personal. It has multiple meanings for me, but one of which is for my dad, and the second of which is for my modality that I use with my clients. I have the AM symbol on my wrist. This is for Love is a Laser Quest, again, Arctic Monkeys. This is from an Arctic Monkeys album cover. This kiwi is for the song Kiwi by Quarters of Change. And then I have my bats. My bats are for a lot of things. We have a bat bridge in Austin that bats migrate from underneath it like millions and millions every year, so I knew that I wanted a bat tattoo for the longest time. I just didn't know like the type of bat tattoo that I wanted, and then I saw Eddie Munson's bat tattoo from Stranger Things, and I'm obsessed with him, so I just got the exact same one as he had. And then I have this martini glass with stars for olives, and that is for the song Star Treatment by Arctic Monkeys. Did I get all of them? I think that's all of them. I don't know. Hopefully I got them all. A lot of people ask me, do all your tattoos really have meaning to you? Yes, I get a lot of like personal meaning and satisfaction from music, so a lot of them are just like references to songs. My next batch of tattoos, I'm getting a broken wine glass in a specific fine line style that my artist just like knows how to do well, for Shatter by Maggie Rogers. That song means a lot to me. I'm also gonna get a Local Natives tattoo the next time I go. I love my patchwork sleeves. I love like building them and making them feel like very me. Will you be reading Beyond Reach this year? Yes, I will be attempting. Okay, if you don't know, Beyond Reach is the last book in the Grant County series by Karen Slaughter. I have commitment issues. I have completion issues. Okay, I don't like to commit to a series, and I don't like to finish a series. It's something about me, okay? And I'm trying my hardest to finish the book, but it's just like emotional for me to say goodbye to the series. So I don't know. I'm not gonna get up here and drag her like everybody else, but she needs a lot of psychological evaluations. You'll see. If I read Beyond Reach, y'all will hear about it. I'm trying to hype myself up to do it. We'll see. Ashton asked me, what is your perfect ideal day? Honestly, it's kind of today. Waking up early, going to yoga. We went and got some breakfast after. We went to a coffee shop, and I built like a cute little flower arrangement. So just like slow, cute morning, lots of like self-care things happening. Listened to music and made myself like fully ready for the day. Again, like getting ready really slow. I'm about to see a friend. We're gonna go do something fun. We're gonna bake. I love cooking and baking. That's always gonna be a part of my ideal day. We're gonna be outside. And then tonight, I'm probably just gonna read until I go to bed, snuggled up with my dogs. Yeah, that's a perfect day. It includes yoga, intention, slowness, getting out in the world, but also isolating under the covers with my dogs and a book. Yeah, just like the balance of it all. Also, if it's hot outside, my perfect day definitely involves jumping into the coldest water imaginable. We have a few more questions over from my YouTube community tab. If you had to choose the best book in each genre that you read, horror, thriller, and romance, which would you choose? And you really just get one per genre. Oh my god, this is so hard. My thriller pick has to be Pretty Girls. Like, I don't know where it has to be. It has to be Pretty Girls. For a romance, I don't know. This is hard. Happy Place? Happy Place by Emily Henry, or This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan. And for horror, Such Sharp Teeth by Rachel Harrison. What are your favorite rich people drama books? Oh girl, I think I have 2 recommendation videos on this. I think I have 2. I either have one out and one coming out, or I have 2 videos posted. I will link them down below for all the rich people drama recommendations. What literary prize do you think is worth the hype, and what literary prize would you introduce if you could? What would it be called? Ooh, I don't really pay attention to literary prizes, honestly. A lot of those feel like very political. It kind of feels like a popularity contest sometimes, so I don't pay attention to the literary prizes. I don't even know what a lot of them mean. I don't have a favorite, but if I could make a literary prize and introduce it to the world, what would it be? Thriller and horror books don't get the recognition that they deserve. I feel like everyone just thinks like, oh, it's a throwaway, like just a fun time. I think that is valuable. Okay, why isn't it valuable for us to just have fun? I think I would introduce the most fun book prize, and it would be for the book where people had the most fun reading it. Even if it was stupid and meaningless and fluffy and bleh. Like, okay, and maybe we had fun with that. That's the kind of prize I would like to see. How do you get out of a horrible reading slump? I've been in one since January and haven't been able to get out of it. For me personally, I love Kindle Unlimited for getting me out of a reading slump. For some reason, if I just like read a fluffy, fun little throwaway thriller on my Kindle, it revives my reading, and I just like all of a sudden want to pick up anything else. Or listening to an audiobook that's like really fluffy, really passive, easy to understand, like a little rom-com or something, and just listening to it, getting you back in the flow of like following a story. Sometimes that helps me too. I like fast-paced books and short books when I'm feeling slumpy. I have a whole recommendation video about like fast-paced books to get you out of a slump. I will link that one again up above and down below. How has being in the community impacted your reading? Has it made you like things that you didn't think were for you, and has your taste changed? Ooh, thank you, Charlie. This is an interesting one. I like this question a lot. I think being in the community definitely has impacted my reading. There's a lot of pressure to read like specific books, like hyped books, to read a lot of books, like people on the internet just have a lot of opinions about what other people should be reading, which I think is a little insane. Like, reading is just for funsies. Nobody's gonna be quizzing you at the end of the year. You know what I mean? Like, it's just for you. So I feel like people should just simply read what they want. I think sometimes my reading is impacted for the better. Like when I try things out of my comfort zone, I never would have read fantasy ever, if just like left to my own devices. So the community kind of like encourage me to get out of my comfort zone, which has helped, but also sometimes it just like feels like a lot of pressure. So I like the return to myself and like tracking, what do I actually want to read right now? What is my taste? I really enjoyed that. The core of my taste really hasn't changed at all since I started making videos, but I'm definitely open to more. I think that's how it's changed. What I like and my preferences definitely stayed consistent. And our last question that we have here is, why do thrillers and horror appeal to you so much? Would be very interested to hear the take from a mental health perspective. Yeah, so I've talked about this a lot. This is something that's really important to me. People who are ostracized, specifically the LGBTQIA community, which I am a part of, is very connected to horror. Again, I will recommend the series Queer for Fear on Amazon, and I will recommend It Came from the Closet. queer reflections on horror. This kind of explains the connection between people who feel like they're a little different or they're not accepted and horror. Like, there are real psychological reasons as to why queer people are drawn to the horror genre. And as for thrillers, girl, I just love to have a good time. I think from a psychological perspective, if we want to get like really technical about it, sometimes this is true, sometimes it's not for me, but my nervous system, running very anxious, running very type A most of the time, it likes that kind of like pace of like being up, being in my sympathetic mode, being activated, releasing the cortisol. Like, that is what my body is used to. So that is like what I like to feel in a book, even when I'm like chilling, relaxing, just like reading my book. It kind of simulates the feeling that my body is used to with anxiety. But also, I don't think it's always that, you know, sometimes I just think it's fun. So there are definitely always reasons for everything that we do, but sometimes it's not deep and it's just a good fucking time. That is everything that I'm going to answer today. If you asked me a question for this Q&A, thank you so much. And again, thank you, all of you, for my 25K. I can't believe it. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned a little bit about me. And if you want to check out one of the rec videos that I linked down below, up above, go watch that after this. Thanks so much for hanging out. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. You can also join me in my book club over on Patreon, which is always linked down below. Don't forget to go to therapy and read a book this week, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!